Hi, I'm Raven McMillan, and I'll be singing Peter in The Snowy Day. Peter is a little boy. He's around 7 or so, and it's basically his first time going out in the snow by himself. And his parents have allowed him to go out and explore. The Snowy Day is basically about that adventure and that kind of coming of age and meeting a friend, some bullies, and some, having an experience with the snow. And basically the plot that carries over from the book is he wants to keep a snowball with him, and so then he has to kind of go through a moment to process what happens when we bring snow inside. This was a project that we worked on last year as well in a workshop format. And so it was part of my very original assignments when I was coming to the studio for my first year last year. And then when everything changed to the digital stuff, we still did a workshop process, but then we knew we had longer to actually get it onto stage, which is always nice. Longer is always better with brand new pieces. So it's something I've been looking forward to for 2 years now.
I was invited to join this project by Patrick Summers several years ago when the process was still getting conceived and processed and sort of developed together. And it's such a gift to be brought on in such an early state of the process, because so often we directors get handed a piece that's already done and cooked, and then we sort of have to contend with what it is. But it's been so much fun to sort of be with this piece from the very beginning of it to opening night. This rehearsal process is probably the funnest rehearsal process I've ever done. I mean, it's a group of incredible singers who are playing in rehearsal every day. Now, don't get me wrong, playing is hard work, and the repetition and the physicality and the joy that you have to continuously sort of bring about takes a lot of physical and emotional effort, but it is so much fun, and we're having such a great time with this music, with this text, with this scenario, with this set. It's so much fun.
In The Snowy Day, there's no dialogue, there's no speaking. There's a lot of, it's basically a narration of what Peter's doing. And I don't know how intentional that is, but I think to be an African-American person, especially Joel, the composer, who is an African-American man, to add that layer onto Ezra Jack Keats' work, I think is what makes the opera so far so successful. And then for me to be able to also add my layer of my experience as a child and kind of seeing myself as Peter for as much as I can. I don't think I had to so much get into his head as much as since we're doing this interpretation, kind of just add a lot of people's thoughts together on what Peter is, what his personality is and what he's thinking and what this whole experience means for him. It's a lot of responsibility to be the title character of anything, but it's a lot of responsibility to create a character kind of for the first time, but it's also really freeing in some ways that you have, first of all, the librettist and the composer around, that you can communicate with them and ask them any questions or kind of collaborate in certain ways on the piece. And there's also no preconceived notions about what The Snowy Day, the opera is. So I do find a lot of freedom in the staging process, the rehearsal process, even vocally, being able to make a lot of choices. And as a studio artist, it's really awesome because this is a lot to be trusted with, and it's a big growing experience and learning experience for me artistically, being able to have so much freedom with a really big role.
This piece, like no other piece that I've worked before, has so much history and memory in people's lives. So I know that when people watch the streaming version of this, they're gonna be sitting at home with the books. They're gonna be sitting at home with the dolls. They're gonna be sitting at home with their kids who are now growing up on the same books that they did. And there's something truly heartwarming about that. And also that means that our responsibility for doing this piece justice is even more important. But there's nothing like it because it has met so many people, and people have such a strong memory of this piece from wherever they were when they first read it, from wherever they are now when they're encountering it. So that's kind of special. I think the fact that HGO is such a home for new works, for new pieces, for new opera, makes us all so secure in bringing a new piece to life. There's always this doubt when you're working on a world premiere. Is it going to be good? How is it going to be received? You know, how are we all bringing this together? And HGO creates this really supportive environment for us to sort of play, try things out, make mistakes, learn new things, and we know that it's going to be such a hit with the audience here. So that's a great feeling.